I think that we all are aware of the term leather and we think we know what it means. It's been around ever since people have been around. It's such an all-encompassing material that can be turned into so many different articles.
You know, with leather there's this beauty of like all these markings on it. They had another life before it came to this.
It was sort of love at first touch.
It changes over time and with use.
The leather community here is really strong. Oftentimes when I tell people that there are maybe a dozen leather workers, people think that maybe we overlap, but none of us do similar work, and so we're quite happy to share. I'm not sure if we find our materials or if our materials find us. When I walked into my first leatherworking class, I was just captivated by the sights, the smells, the sounds, the feeling, everything.
My background is actually in architecture and I still practice architecture as well. Working in architectural practice is quite screen-based and digital, so really leatherwork as a means of working with my own hands again.
So I was working in fashion. When I moved here to Cockpit, I was making fabric bags, and then I decided to try doing leather handles and leather bases. So I bought some leather from somebody who was here and tried it out, and it went really, really wrong. And then I decided I needed to learn more. And then I did one short course, which was okay. Did another course, and then I fell in love. Leather kind of went and sort of took over.
Pretty straight after I moved to London, I applied for the Leather Sellers Award and won the award and moved into Cockpit.
In 2017, I won the Cockpit Leather Sellers Award.
So I've been a Leather Sellers awardee since 2022.
When I started, and maybe even up to very recently, validation has been a big part of my work. I think for so many of us, we need that in the beginning, and it's so hard to get that, especially if it's something you didn't study, and many people come into leather work without studying because we don't really have formal qualifications for it. To be able to get the space for 3 years to experiment and to be, I think it's a really special thing.
I'm recently playing about with wet moulding.
Pretty much guessing because I don't know what I'm doing with this yet. I think it still needs to be on a bit longer.
It's made a huge difference because I'm always full of self-doubt. Once I got that award, I was a bit like, I had some breathing space so that I could continue with where I wanted to go with the leather work.
Cockpit has the largest group of independent leatherworkers in the UK.
The leather community here is really strong, and the Leather Hub plays a big part in that.
The Leather Hub at Cockpit was set up in 2017. It's enabled us to do bigger projects and use obviously the machinery that the leather sellers have provided. For me personally, it would be very hard to run my business without the Leather Hub. You'd have to think about outsourcing a lot of processes that I'm able to do here now on a very quick turnaround.
Every time I do come in here to do work, there's always somebody around, and it's always so lovely. You never feel alone. If the machine stops working, there's someone always in the building who will drop everything and come and help. So there is that beauty of this space, something about this space.
Yeah, it's about, I think, sharing and caring, I guess. In leather, I found it's such a warm community and it's very welcoming.
Leather is kind of, it's so unique as a craft, right? Not a lot of people do it. And so you kind of need that community in a way.
There's such a crossover with tools, and it's just so interesting to see someone using the same tool that you use, but something completely different with a different type of leather. I've learned so much from other people being here.
Being able to just go downstairs and have a conversation, you can't do that anywhere. So having that available is huge. And as you say, even tools, borrowing and helping people out, it can feel quite daunting at the beginning if you do embark on a solo journey, but it is about who you surround yourself with.
For me, craft and community are inextricably linked. You cannot have one without the other.
Being around other makers who are on the same journey really has helped increase and boost my confidence and feel braver to try things.